I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
The debate over a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has been heating up.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He does.
Billy Joe.
Does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you named is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is night.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo going?
It's a tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching them, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too. It'll be good.
With both sides offering compelling arguments.
Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Terence Crawford recently stated that while Canelo has the size and power advantage, his own skills, speed, and reach set him apart.
My good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't count him out. You know what I'm saying?
Crawford believes he could outbox Canelo, citing his superior boxing IQ and ability to adapt to any style.
Look at the elite of the elite boxers. To a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined and they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can too.
Unbeaten. He's a former 2-weight undisputed. I think he's 2-weight undisputed. Let me know in the comments. You always correct me if I get it wrong. But he's unified the divisions. At least 2, even 3 divisions. He's been a world champion. So this is a guy that's unbeaten and dominated at virtually every level. But he's now at the end of his career and he's daring to be great. This is a fight that will really secure and seal his legacy. But he's taken on Canelo Alvarez. 2 years younger, bags of experience, and a lot bigger with no rehydration clause. This is a mountain to climb for Terence Crawford. So fair play to him for taking this fight on. But is it a step too far? I don't even know if it is a step too far. I mean, it's a fight between 2 top world level elite athlete boxers who...
Jeff Mayweather agrees, pointing out that Crawford's skill could be the key to victory, but he warns that Crawford would need to fight a near-perfect fight to overcome Canelo's power and experience.
One of the issues around the whole situation was they'd agreed the Crawford fight, but they hadn't agreed a May fight, and Canelo wanted to fight in May. And there aren't really a lot of options, but by beating Skull, you can become undisputed. And I feel like the fight with Crawford as an undisputed fight is pretty cool because Crawford's undisputed at 47 and 40. and he could become a 3-division undisputed champion.
On the other hand, Teddy Atlas emphasized that boxing isn't just about size. It's about the sweet science of technique.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power. And then Canelo, you know, when he's fought Belenga, then fought Ryder, Munguia. It's even. I think it'd be a 50-50 fight if Crawford fought Canelo.
He drew parallels to classic bouts where smaller, more skilled fighters outmaneuvered larger opponents, suggesting Crawford could be the modern example of that.
Believe we had the Crawford. It looked like we had the Crawford. We were talking about that. Can a really great small guy beat a really good big guy? You know, we were getting into that mind frame again. Some people were saying, "Oh, Canelo's too big, forget it." But we were getting into the right mind frame, the right with this great, sweet science, with this sport that goes back longer than any other sport in the world, where catch weights used to be in the 20s to 30. Little guys beat big guys, and it wasn't that unusual. So we were starting to get into that frame of thinking, okay, can this great guy Crawford, can he, instead of looking at it as a disadvantage that Canelo is so big.
However, others like Stephen A. Smith are skeptical, comparing Crawford's challenge to Apollo Creed facing Ivan Drago in Rocky V.
The analogy he used was powerful. Boxing shouldn't just be like bullfighting, where the matador inevitably slaughters the bull. Sometimes the bull has a chance to outmaneuver the matador, even if it's rare. That's what made the idea of this fight intriguing. People were starting to believe it was possible. However, Atlas hinted at his frustration with the sport, suggesting that just when boxing builds excitement, something always seems to derail it. He didn't specify exactly what, but his words reflected the sport's history of missed opportunities and politics getting in the way of great matchups.
That maybe he'd be too smart, too slick, too quick, you know what I mean? Too special in those areas, not to allow Canelo to use his size and his counterpunching and everything else. And that's what the sweet science is about. You know, it's not supposed to be just about, you know, letting a bull run out into the bull ring and then wait until the matador puts a spear in. It's supposed to be about the bull actually having a chance to outslick the matador, which don't happen too often. So now we were starting to get into interesting grounds. Okay, people were buying into it. Yeah, this okay.
Smith argues that the physical size difference could be too much for Crawford, especially considering the weight classes involved.
Both guys are aging, and you never know. You never know when they're going to show their age. So it could be either one of them that does that. But, I mean, I just lean toward Crawford because I just see dude has so many skills. And, I mean, I just see that him possibly winning the fight by decision, but could also lose a close decision.
Carl Froch also expressed concerns, noting that without a rehydration clause, Canelo's weight advantage could be even more pronounced.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terrence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jamel Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life. And he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it. And lost fight number 2. Trained him for fight Rocky 3 and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
In the end, this fight isn't just about power. It's about skill, strategy, and whether Crawford can outthink and outbox the bigger Canelo.
weight divisions, 2 or 3 weight divisions, for me, it's a big issue. He's not a bigger man. I mean, he's 37 years old. Canelo's 35. They're both sort of at the end of their careers. Crawford, I'm not going to say he's old, so that's going to be a major problem, because as you're older, you do want to step up the weight divisions because it's harder to take weight off. Neither of these guys are taking weight off, so that's not an issue. But there's no rehydration clause, and the issue with that is, for me, is the fact that Canelo can weigh whatever he wants the next day. So he's going to get down to 168 pounds super middle, and he's probably going to be getting in the ring way over 175 pounds, the light heavyweight limit. He'll be up at, like, in English money, it's going to be up at like 14, maybe towards 14 stone. And there's no way that Terence Crawford's going to be that heavy. He's going to be coming up to 168, and he'll only be a few pounds over that.
If this fight happens, it promises to be one of the most intriguing matchups in recent boxing history.